Hi, my name's Eric, and this is my 2019 Chevy Silverado 3500 HD box truck that I converted to a camper. All right, so first off, let's talk about why I built this. I'm in Longmont, Colorado, not too far from the headquarters of Earth Roamer, not too far from where they also build Ross Monsters. So I see those driving around quite a bit. If you've ever been to an Overland Expo, you've seen those as well. I don't know anybody that wouldn't want one of those, but I also don't know many people that want to pay the price tag of those. I think a Earth Roamer right now goes for $800,000 and a Ross Monster goes for $400,000. So that was kind of the inspiration of this build, is to build something that can do most of what those trucks can at a fraction of the price tag. So that's what I started with here. The truck is a 3500 HD. It's got the LS 6.0 engine in it. I believe the transmission is a 6L80. It gets me over mountain passes just fine. I haven't had too many problems with it. It gets about 12 miles to the gallon. It's got two tanks in it. The one in the back holds 40 gallons. The one in the front holds 20 gallons. The actual box itself was built by Rockport. So the exterior is a fiberglass laminated wood. It's got mostly metal on the perimeter, aluminum on the top, steel on the back. It's got the barn doors in the back, which is a nice feature. A lot of box trucks that you see have a roll-up door. This has the barn doors, which is super nice. You can open those up when you're in there. It's great when you're tailgating. I'll show you the inside. It's got basically couch seating in there that convert to beds. But when you got folks in there, you can sit about 8 people in there. When you're tailgating, open up the back. It's super nice. The truck's 4-wheel drive. Does great in the snow. In fact, most of the time you don't even have to turn on the 4-wheel drive. It's a dually. Those dualies get a lot of contact with the ground. The truck weighs about 10,000 pounds. So with the dualies, the tires on it, the weight of the truck, it's pretty rare that you actually have to turn on 4-wheel drive. All right, so let me give you a tour of the truck. I think the first thing that people notice when they come into the truck is that tank right there. That tank is the diesel for the diesel heater. The reason it's in the truck is to prevent it from sludging when it gets too cold in the winter. I take this truck skiing regularly. I've stayed in it in -20 Fahrenheit, so that's why it's in there. It could be easily moved outside if need be, but it's worked out pretty good there. Little storage basket down there for knickknacks, and then that area is usually where I hang coats or put my skis. Right to the next to that is a drawer down at the bottom. Let's see if we can open that drawer. Quite a bit of storage in there. Above that is actually a fridge/freezer combo. It can do one or, but not both at the same time. And next to that is the kitchen area with the sink. And underneath the sink is 3 8-gallon tanks. 2 of them get used for fresh water. One gets used to hold what comes out of the sink, although they could potentially all be used for fresh water. Let's see. There's a microwave in here. The kitchen is actually pretty sparse. So that's a 700-watt microwave. It's powered by a battery in the truck, a 200 amp hour LiPo 4 battery with a 2,000-watt inverter. That setup can power that microwave for about 3 hours before it needs a charge. There's 400 watts of solar on top of the truck. That could potentially get you off grid for as long as you want. The battery itself, I've run it with no solar for, I believe, 5 days. The kitchen is sparse because I'm not a big believer in cooking in a camper. It stinks up the camper, uses a lot of water to wash all the pots and pans. So that is why there's only a microwave there. If we come around to the back, there's 2 beds. So there's 2 couches. They're the equivalent, when they fold out to beds, they're the equivalent of a twin XL, or the equivalent of a king when you combine both of them together. It's a full mattress. Uh, I'm about 6'4", so one of the things that I wanted in this truck was the ability to actually stand up in this truck. So I get about, let's see if I can pan around. I get about, I don't know, I think there's about 2 inches there. Let's see if I can pan it around again. There's 2 inches of insulation in the roof of this box. There's 1 inch of insulation on the sides. There's only 10 millimeter in the floor, and then there's this laminate flooring as well. If I had it to do over again, I actually would have put more insulation on the floor, but when I was building it, I was actually worried about being able to stand up in here. Turns out I would have been able to do it, but hindsight's always 20/20. So these beds, the way these beds fold up is there's just platforms that flip up there. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. This comes out, and then that just goes down. And then you got a bed. So it does that on the same side as well, on this other side. Let's see what else. There's plenty of storage in here. There's storage over the couches, over the bed. If you flip up these beds, the couches, there's storage underneath there as well. On this side, there's less storage. That's where the 200 amp hour battery is, the inverter, all the electronics. There is a diesel heater. See if you can see it in there. That diesel heater obviously warms the truck in the winter. And in the summer, the cooling is actually this max fan up here. Currently has this insulation on it. All right, let's see what else. These barn doors are super nice in the winter, in the summer. They kind of flip open wherever you might be. Let's see if I can get this open one-handed. Kind of opens up, really opens up the area in here. Again, super nice for tailgating. The wind's gonna fight me. What else? I think that kind of covers it. There's lights in here, obviously, 12-volt lights. Oh, I forgot all about the bathroom. So the bathroom in that box right there is actually kind of a yacht-style bathroom. So there's a composting toilet in there. On the bottom of it is a shower pan. However, I never actually finished out the shower of it. The composting toilet is good enough. It works. So this kind of opens up. You can sit in there. I'm not a big fan of a number 2 in the camper, so I try and avoid that if possible. And so that's the bathroom situation. Let's see. Open this up. Get a look down there. So that metal piece right there is actually access to the front fuel pump and the front gas tank. And then underneath that carpet, you can kind of see some metal sticking up. That is actually the access to the rear gas pump. All right, well, I think that covers it.